Hi friends, Ginger here. Welcome back to Bookmas. Today I am going to be doing a tag that was recently created by the library dweller. I will leave the original down below. But when I saw this tag, I thought that it was going to be perfect for the holiday season, and that is the baked goods tag. And when I think of Christmas and everything, I always think of cookies and gingerbread houses and whatnot, so I thought this one would be perfect to do for Bookmas. So without further ado, let's just get into doing the tag. So each of the questions are based on a baked good, so instead of numbers, I guess they are listing the baked goods. So the first one we have here is blueberry muffins, a book with a little something extra. And for this prompt, I immediately thought of one of my favorite books of all time, which is Like Water for Chocolate by Laura Esquiville. I read this one in high school and I read it in Spanish actually, but I really loved the story and like all the whimsicalness of it. But the reason I picked this one is because each chapter in this book starts out with a recipe for a different dish that is mentioned in the chapter. And I just think that that is so unique. And so the first one here is Christmas rolls. Maybe I will make these for Christmas. Hard doubt, but maybe. But that's why I picked this one, because I mean, you could make a whole bunch of meals and snacks and whatnot from this book. And I think that's a little something cool that goes along with it. So a little something extra, and I obviously would recommend this book because it was great. The next one is Chocolate Chip Cookies. Who doesn't like a good chocolate chip cookie? A book that is an oldie but a goodie. And for this one, I had a few come to mind, but the one I'm gonna go with is Watership Down by Richard Adams. And I love Watership Down. I actually didn't get to this book until I was late or older in life. I think I read this one 3 years ago, and I can't believe I was sitting on it for so long because I loved it. And I mean, obviously I love animal books, so I should have seen it coming, but yeah, it's just so cute and I love all the characters. I love the journey that they're going on, and I just think this is like a classic that even though it is an older book, everyone should read, and I would highly recommend it. So that's the one I'm gonna go with. Next up is Snickerdoodles, a book that feels like home to you, and I absolutely love Snickerdoodles. I love cinnamon and sugar, and just that combination together in a cookie is so good. But the books that I'm picking for this one, you guys should probably see coming. But that's the Warrior series by Erin Hunter, specifically the first 6 books. I've reread these books multiple times and I still love reading them and going through the journey once again with these characters. And they've gotten me through multiple stages in my life, and it kind of just feels like, you know, anytime that I am feeling nostalgic, the Warriors books come to mind. So I definitely think that these ones feel like home to me, and they are the books that take up the most space on my bookshelves in the living room, so they kind of define my home as well. But I am just so happy to have a series like this, and I love other series too, but if I had to pick, then that's the one I'm gonna go with. Prompt number 4 is Coffee Cakes, and it is a book that surprised you. I feel like there's multiple books that I could pick for this one, but I think I know the one I'm going to talk about, and that is And I Darken by Kiersten White. So I was very unsure of this one going in because it's a YA fantasy, and I just think that they're so saturated in the book world and booktube community, and so I was kind of just like, this one, I don't even know if I'm going to read it. I might unhaul it, but I picked it for out of my TBR jar in like April, I think, and 5 stars. I loved this book. I immediately bought the other 2 books in the trilogy. I've yet to read them, but don't worry, 2022 will be getting to them because this just was so engaging. I fell in love with the world, the characters, just everything. I've never read from Kiersten White before, but I think I'm gonna have to pick up more for books because the writing and the world building in here was awesome and I loved it. So definitely surprised by this one, but it was a very good surprise, so I'm not gonna complain that much. I really loved it, and yeah, I'm glad I was surprised. Then we have Burnt Fruitcake, and that just sounds disgusting. I feel like fruitcake most people don't like anyway, and then just burning it. But the question is, or the prompt is, a book that left a bad taste in your mouth. And the one I'm gonna go with here is That Was Then and This Is Now by S.E. Hinton, which, spoiler alert, you will be seeing in my worst books of the year video. I read this back in March because my friend recommended it to me, as he really liked The Outsiders and he had mentioned that this one was also good. So I said, okay, I'll read it. I was enjoying it for the most part, and then the ending happened. And I was so angry and annoyed with the ending that I literally texted my friend and was like, I hated this book. And it just made me so upset for not really any reason. Like, it's not like, I mean, obviously there's a reason, but like, obviously he liked it, so it's not that it couldn't be a great book. It's that my personal taste hated it. So definitely was bitter at the end of that one. And so that's why I'm picking that one for this prompt, because I think it really fits with the actual like feeling of disgust that I had. Not because it was like gory or anything, just like upsetness. So that's what I'm going with. I have unhauled it, so I don't have it to hold up, but I'm sure I already put a picture in. Then we have Cherry Cheesecake. I am always a fan of cheesecake, and this one is a book that I indulged in. And I think I know exactly what I have to go for here. Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. I just was trash for this book. And I like romances, but they're not really my favorite genre. But this one, I could not put down, and I loved it. So I would say it's kind of not like a guilty pleasure, because a lot of other people like this book, but I definitely let myself get wrapped up in this romance, and it also just makes me think of Cherry Cheesecake, like the cover. So that's the one I'm going with. Two more questions. The second to last one is M&M Cookies, also pretty yummy. And this one is a book with lots of diversity. I will be honest, I looked at my Goodreads and there was not very many books that I could classify as being very, like, with lots of diversity. I feel like I've read books that have been more diverse and from different points of views, but actually having a collection of diverse individuals, not so much. So I went all the way back to last February and remembered that I read Meet Cute, which is an anthology of love stories of meet cutes. And in this one, I would say that there's a decent amount of diversity. There's different races, genders, sexualities, and so I think that book encompasses a lot of diversity, and so it's my best answer for this. I do think, after looking back and seeing that I don't have very many diverse books to talk about, like with a lot of diversity in them, I do want to change that moving into the next year. So that is now a goal. So thank you, Tag, for opening my eyes to that. And then the last prompt is Sourdough Bread, which is a book or series that was hard to get into at first, but was worth it in the end. And I actually had a difficult time with this one because I tend to love first books, and that's kind of what gets me going. I don't usually push through first books into next books because if I don't like the first one, because I don't see a point. So I kind of just went with a book here that I did enjoy, but I feel like you have to be the right person for it and not everyone's going to enjoy it. And the writing style is more adult and maybe some people will have difficulty getting into it. And that is The Bear and the Nightingale by Katherine Arden. This one is a polar fantasy, winter fantasy kind of, that it's about a girl in the winter wonderlands of Russia. So I really did enjoy this one. I'm not going to say it's like my favorite book of all time, or my favorite series of all time, but I really enjoyed it, and I do think that it was good, but it did take me a little bit to read this, and I think that for other people it could be something that's a hit or miss. So this is the one I'm going for this one. Maybe not exactly what the prompt was asking, but I tried my best. So there you have it. That is the Baked Goods book tag. Like I said, will be leaving the original video down below. So if you liked this one, please go check out the Library Dwellers video and give it a like and maybe do this tag for yourself. It was really fun to do, especially if you liked baked goods and are looking for some tags to do this holiday season. But thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope to see you all in my next Bookmas video. See you then. Bye.